I want to hit on that George Hill thing, though, because Joe Vardon of Cleveland.com has dropped 2 bombs in the last 90 minutes. First, he put out a report saying that the Cavs and Sacramento Kings are actually, quote, far apart on a George Hill deal that earlier this week, our Brian Windhorst and Adrian Wojnarowski was reporting was pretty close. So things have kind of separated there. He also pointed out in that story, George Hill is the 9th worst defensive player of all players that have played at least 20 games.
That's why I said
also may have lingering toe problems. So that's one thing. But then, just now, in the last couple minutes, Joe Vardon also put out a report saying that Kyrie Irving threatened to have a knee surgery and not report to training camp if the Cavs didn't trade him. Now, I have been saying on the show since Kyrie was traded in August, the Cavaliers did not have to trade Kyrie.
Not at all.
Just because he made a demand to be traded. And I would still say, even if he threatened this, because let me ask you a question, Paul, as an athlete who has sponsorship deals with big companies like Nike and other corporations. Do you think all your sponsors who pay you lots of money would allow you to have what would be, I guess, unnecessary knee surgery since he's playing without it now and miss a season?
You have incentives to go out there and play a certain amount of games. You know, if you're playing only 30% of the games, then a lot of these off-the-court contracts, you lose a lot of money from them. You know, especially the bigger ones like your shoe deal. You know, you may have an insurance deal. You have to be visible. If you're not visible on the court, they're like, how can you promote us?
As a player, would you voluntarily, if it comes, you might bluff and say I would go under surgery?
Cut my knee open.
But right, would you voluntarily undergo the knife as a player? Would you really back up that bluff?
Players will probably get a shot in the knee and say, oh, I need 6 to 8 weeks.
10 to 9.
You know, I don't think cutting open is the answer.
Yes, and at the same time, I think there's 2 things you got to think. First of all, I still think they got a good deal because in terms of insuring themselves for the future, if you have to move them.
Well, we could have a long discussion on that.
Look,
insuring yourself for the future is keeping LeBron James.
Oh, well, you know.
Well, you know, he's on the team.
But if you also have an inkling that he probably wasn't going to stay anyway, then that's one thing. But the other thing is, I go back to this. Man, David Griffin around. Maybe a lot of these issues wouldn't have come up.
This is the domino, and we have been talking about this on the show, again, for 6 months here. That was the week. They let go of David Griffin or parted ways with David Griffin. David Griffin's working on a trade for Paul George as he picked up the phone with Dan Gilbert. He let him go. He was holding Kyrie and LeBron together, and there you go. But this is a bombshell, thing that, hey, Kyrie says, I'm going to go under surgery if you don't trade me. And I got to tell you, this is the inexperience of a front office that doesn't have like a David Griffin around, who maybe took that more seriously than they should, since everybody sitting on the set could tell you.
Don't forget the owner.
Would not undergo voluntary surgery.
Don't let the owner off the hook.
And Nike would not have let him.